Got a question for you all. What's your favorite movie? Go on, there are no wrong answers. Your favorites are your favorites. Wait, who's saying Empire? That's just hours of just the Empire State Building and nothing else. You probably bought the banana taped to the wall, didn't you? Whoop, I see you back there. My man. It's very convenient for me that you're here today because I'll be talking about one specific scene in Godzilla 98. I think every movie, nay, every piece of media has a moment, the moment that sticks out in your mind whenever you recommend it to someone else. These are a couple of mine. In Interstellar, when Cooper is watching the tape sent to him by his son after coming back from the
water planets.
The X marks the spot scene from Surf's Up. Hey, I did a video about that. There's a link to that in the description, and there's also one to the iCard. If you just hit the iCard button, that should take you right there. Okay, love you, bye. When Light Yagami, Mr. Yagami-san, trying to write Naomi Misoda's name in the Death Note from, well, Death Note. When the monster puts his bid on Old Man DeLacy and Frankenstein. The Kogera fight in Tears of the Kingdom. Ba, 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 da, 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 da. And the topic of this video, when Zilla climbs out of the sewers in Godzilla 98. For me, these scenes don't have to be the climax of the media, just the moments where I'm so taken in by the experience that it kind of zeroes itself out, which takes me out of the experience and makes me say, I have to show this to anyone who will listen. It's safe to say that Godzilla 98 is a film that people have opinions about.
There's only one proper way to watch Godzilla 1998. Don't.
Oh my God, my Shayla, my Shayla.
Yeah, but love it or hate it, you can't deny that this movie put the Godzilla name into a lot of households, including mine. Godzilla 98 was my first, what is the word I'm looking for? 4A? It's, let me put the mic down for a second. The word for exploration? Reconnaissance into the IP. For the longest time, it was my favorite movie. Then it was Secondhand Lions. I don't know how, but now I've settled on Interstellar. Anyway, even though now I can see the many faults of Godzilla 98, the movie will forever hold a special place in my heart. I said in my Surf's Up video that, it's linked in the description and on the iCard, that Godzilla 98 is something that I'm very passionate about. I'm glad I decided to do this as my first video and not something I'm like crazy passionate about, like Godzilla 98. And I just like it. So I'm going to talk about that one scene in particular. And to be clear, I'll be referring to the creature in Godzilla 98 as Zilla to ward off confusion, and as that is how Toho, who currently hold the rights to the character, refer to the character now. Rah! Rah! Yeah, I gotta pull it up. Frick. Bring up the video! Okay, I got the audio of me sounding like a dinosaur. I always sound like a dinosaur. It's no secret that Zilla was, so to speak, drastically different in design from his Toho counterpart. Not just in physical appearance, but in personality, I guess? Godzilla in Japan was shown to have creative thinking and problem-solving capabilities, and Zilla is more so an animal than a character in the movie. The show is a different conversation that we'll have someday. Maybe. Definitely. Almost a force of nature he is. He doesn't have goals beyond survive and reproduce, like an animal, which was Roland Emmerich's intention for the character. All the interpretations of the character from the original 1954 Gojira, 2016 Shin Godzilla, and 2023's Godzilla -1 can be seen in a similar light. All four of these movies have human characters with goals that can be narrowed down to, we have to stop this thing or humanity is doomed. And each of these interpretations can be seen as a jump-off point for a new continuity or series of films. It's when we start getting more kaiju and fights with those kaiju that Godzilla starts to develop a kind of personality. We see things like his victory dance, how he cares for that freak Minila, and introductions of some special moves. Ooh, look, there he goes. This is the character that people came to love pre-98. So when a big, dumb animal is presented as the next incarnation of the character, I don't think it'd be unreasonable to say that people were upset. All this is to say that I think the meme of Pam holding up the two pictures only works if you're Dean Devlin or Roland Emmerich. Seemingly everyone else on the project knew that there couldn't be anything more different between these two characters besides their size and backspikes. Another name the character community has coined up the character community. Another name the Godzilla community has coined up for this interpretation is Gino, G-I-N-O, standing for Godzilla in name only, showing just how negative the reception of this character was. Regardless of how you feel about the character, there is one scene in his titular film that is meant to be the "this ain't your daddy's Godzilla" moment. The big reveal moment, showing you, the audience, that this is a new take on an old character. It's meant to show off just how intimidating and massive this creature is in universe, as well as show off the new design out of universe. Up until this point, we have only seen glimpses of the creature, shots of the destruction it is capable of. It's here where Nick gets to take in just how potentially dangerous this thing is. That realization Nick Papadopoulos has is put into perspective with the dollies in effect, allowing the audience to feel a similar gut drop, I'm in a bad spot here, feeling that Nick is experiencing in that moment. As Zilla climbs out of the hole, a neon hotel sign on the right shorts out to where the E and L turn off, leaving only the hot visible. This little touch hinting further at how the creators want to show you, the audience, how different this interpretation of the character is. And when Nick takes the picture and gets the creature's attention, Zilla zooms in to get a look at what the flash was. Putting aside my questions as to how Zilla is sensing Nick, like, he can't see him because his huge ass snout is in the way. It's raining, so he probably can't hear him very well either. I guess he's smelling him, but wouldn't that also be hard in the rain? Whatever. When Zilla roars, it shows the power gap between man and monster. And that specific idea is driven home when the best character in the movie pops his head up and puts in his 2 cents.
We need bigger guns.
This is the scene of Godzilla 98 for me. It's grandiose, intimidating, and perfectly introduces the full form of Zilla to the audience. From this point on, the characters know exactly what they're up against. And, for better or worse, from this point on, we as the audience are introduced to this new form of a cinematic legend. Literally everything you need to know about this movie is presented in this scene. It's Godzilla in New York, he looks and acts a little bit different, and
we need bigger guns.
I'm a firm believer that there is good to be found in every piece of media, no matter how bad it is. There's a discussion to be had about ironically enjoying a bad part of media, but this isn't the video to do that in. I just wanted to tell you, my audience, all about a good part in a movie I think gets too hard a bad rap. From a good line, well done set design, great camera work, there will always be at least one good thing in anything. Something that we can learn from. Something beyond saying, that was a bad shot, I would have done it this way. Because what you would have done is not what was done. It's natural to remember bad experiences over good ones. We remember wild berries that made us sick better than the ones that don't, so that we don't mistakenly eat the sickening ones again. My own personal experience, years ago, me and my brother visited our sisters, and he stayed at one sister and I stayed at another sister. I stayed with sister 2 and he stayed with sister 3. While I was with sister 2, I didn't eat the best, and I think I may have just like gotten sick from something there. I say I might have eaten something because I had like 11 Klondike bars that morning. Then like nothing else until like we sat together and watched a movie and had popcorn. And the last thing that I ate before getting really sick was popcorn. And for the longest time, I couldn't eat popcorn because my body was like, no, you don't want to eat popcorn. Popcorn made you sick the last time you ate it, don't you remember? And I'm like 100% positive that it was not the popcorn. The last thing that I ate was popcorn. Then I happened to be sick, and then my body was like, logged that information as, okay, the last time you were sick, it was because you ate popcorn. That's the reason. But it wasn't. It was just, I'm sure it was like happenstance. Anyway, I was sick for a day or two. And for like a year, 2 years after that, I could not eat popcorn because it was just making me sick, just smelling it. And I hated it because I love popcorn. Frickin' giving me a notification in the middle of recording. Don't you know I'm recording? Popcorn's delicious. Are you kidding me? Really, Kelly? Popcorn has like 0 calories. And so like the thing that I'm trying to say is that like my body had mistaken popcorn for the thing that was making me sick. And I knew that it wasn't popcorn that made me sick. It was just my body that was making me sick. So it was like a subconscious lizard brain thing that was like, this thing was bad. It gave you a bad experience. Don't have that bad experience again by not having that food. I can happily eat popcorn now. I'm very glad about that. But I couldn't eat popcorn for a long time because my body thought that it made me sick. My body had a bad experience with it and remembered it for a long time before I could train my body against it. The sentence that I have in the paragraph here is it's in brackets. It says, insert personal anecdote about you and popcorn. That was a long explanation. Ooh. Anyway, I'm going to encourage all of you to look for the good. Remember the bad, yes, but don't idolize it. And I'm inviting you all to do this not just in cinema or books or games or whatever, but in every facet of your life. There's good everywhere. You just have to find it. What about an empire?
Oh shit, here we go again.
Run away from me! Right here! Fatality.
Whew. What about you? What are the moments in your movies or shows or games or books or whatever else? Do you think there's another scene in Godzilla 98 that better fits this idea? What's something from your life that you grew up loving, but now you see that it's not as great as you thought it was? Let the algorithm, let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and travel safe if and when you do. I am testing the microphone. I am testing the microphone. Well, hey, Con. Yeah, got a piece of raisin. Got raisin in my teeth. I had some raisins before this. I had some water, mac and cheese, and raisins. Okay, I'm iffy on this next line because it doesn't really, I'm realizing now that it doesn't really back my point as much as I thought it would. You know, the thing that I'm trying to say in this paragraph is to just like point out more of the differences in design between Toho Godzilla and Sony TriStar Godzilla. So I'm just gonna read it, and if I intend to keep it, then I intend to keep it. If not, then I'll put it like as a bookend or something. One thing that the designer for this new interpretation of the character, Patrick, made apparent when designing Zilla was his prominent chin, modeling it somewhat after Disney's take on Shere Khan in The Jungle Book. And the reference link is dead. Great. Great, great, great. Well, the link to Emmerich's point that the creature is lean because he's fast still works. Thanks, Internet Archive.